So you want to play Legend of the Five Rings, a samurai fantasy tabletop RPG, but you don't actually want to play a samurai. You want to play a non-samurai. You can do it. You totally can do it. There's just lots of different ways. First of all, I need to know what you think not being a samurai means, because when there was a time not too long ago, I thought being a samurai was the warrior with the wooden armor and the katana and the scary face mask and the stabbing people for honor and your ancestors. Like, that's a samurai, right? No, that's not quite a samurai. If you think that's what a samurai is and all a samurai is, then there's so many options that would scratch your itch of not being a samurai you could choose. But that's not really what a samurai is. So what a samurai is in this game is, it's just a class of people. The upper crust of society. You got the non-people at the bottom, then you got the half-people in the middle, then you got the samurai, presumably full people, but they don't actually call them that. I guess it just goes without saying that they're full people. Anyway, their job as the upper crust of society, at least in theory, is to protect those under them within their clan. And to use a Game of Thrones reference, which is always applicable for this game, yes, Jaime Lannister, one of the greatest swords in all the land, before he got his hand cut off, spoilers, he would definitely be a samurai, of course, but so would his brother Tyrion, the drunken dwarf who knew things. They're both upper crust of society, just different types of samurai. When you pick your class, your samurai school, you'll see the different keywords. Bushi are your warriors. If you want to play a non-samurai, you could just simply avoid the Bushi type schools and focus on, say, a courtier, the talker type, which is what Tyrion might be. Or there's a shinobi, they're ninjas. Shugenja, they're the magic users. Artisans are more crafters or knowledge lore people. And then you have monks who are, well, they're just weird. It's a whole different thing we'll get into in a minute. But maybe picking one of those options is all you need to not be a samurai in your eyes. But maybe not being a samurai is not being part of the upper crust of society. You can be a peasant if you want in this game. In the core book, there is alternate rules in the back of the book for making a peasant campaign. Character creation options are different. Some of the questions get some tweaks, though there is a peasant family where you get some stat bonuses, but do not use the ones in the back of the book. They're wrong. So basically, I'm just going to put them up. These are the real ones from the website. This is technically meant to be for a peasant campaign, a flavor of campaign in which you're all peasants, but you could also just use this to make peasant characters and also have them alongside samurai, serving as advisors. A merchant peasant to help handle the money, Ashigaru citizen soldier to just be another sword at the samurai's back to help protect them. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this human. Now officially, according to this book, mechanically you're supposed to build your peasant with the Worldly Ronin school, which is a fairly flexible a Bushi courtier type person, and their school ability involves kind of picking your favorite skills and curriculum skills that you have an easier time using but not necessarily better with. It's a pretty decent class. There's some flexibility there. You could have technically two people playing it, and they have different play styles depending on how they build their character, but really, you don't want two people playing one school, or even an entire party playing one school. That's just boring. Which is why, if a GM is running an all-peasant campaign, I absolutely think they should be able to house rule it, so that a peasant could just play whatever school as long as it makes sense. Maybe not Shugenja in most cases. Magic is kept away from peasants. There could be a cool backstory to where they know magic for some reason. Maybe one of the books, Phoenix Clan Magic book, and I don't have that yet, maybe that will have more insight into why a peasant might know magic, or perhaps Path of Waves. That book is all about Ronin, lordless samurai, and also foreigners, which we'll get into in a minute, or anyone else on the outskirts of the traditional celestial order of things that organizes people. And speaking of Path of Waves, if you do have a all peasant or mostly peasant campaign, you got two samurai but then four peasants, or whatever, half your people are peasants, might not be a bad idea. Pick up Path of Waves, because like half of their playable school options are just more Ronin school options, which I don't know if it says, but it absolutely should allow you to use those characters to build peasant characters, and now you have a wider variety. There's a Ronin who's more archery focused. There's one, I think there's one who's more magical focused. Maybe your peasant learned from an exiled magic user who was sick of clans and self-exile, or they dishonored themselves, they took them under their wing. Sort of like Sensei Ishikawa from Ghost of Tsushima, he brought in Tomoe, this peasant, because she was really skilled with the bows, so he was going to teach her the way of the bow. Of course, it didn't turn out so well for him, spoilers, but, you know, you could have a peasant who learns from another magic user, maybe a peasant. For some reason, the kami just sort of speak for them. They have a natural knack to it. I guess it might allude to them having more samurai ancestry or something, or I don't know. They also have a signature weapon-focused Ronin, so you pick a weapon, you're extra good with it, I guess. I don't have the book. I don't know all the options. I know there's a handful. I know if you have a peasant character, that's a great way to go. Another option from this book, Quartz of Stone, the Mercenary Shinobi School. Not attached to any particular clan. You either are a former clan ninja who just decides to go independent for money, or for the purposes of this video, you are a peasant who, through various means, learned how to do ninja stuff and just decided to sell out your services to the highest bidder, doing assassinations, poisoning, espionage, all the dirty things that clans don't want to do. They don't want to get their own clan ninja if they have any mixed up in it. Maybe they don't have a lot to spare, especially minor clans might not necessarily have ninja to work with, and I guess they can't afford, or maybe Cat Clan is too far away, the minor clan, which isn't quite statted yet. They're all mercenary ninjas secretly, but maybe you want a more independent sort who has a good reputation, so you go for the mercenary ninja, and that's your character. Now, as I said before, the Worldly Ronin from the core book is pretty flexible. They also could be built for a mercenary ninja peasant concept, but you know, if you have this one at your table, they might be better at it. This one is actually really good, extra stealthy, lots of access to ninja techniques. If you happen to have it at your table, by all means pick it up. Oh, also, there's a ton of ninja stuff in this book. It might be worth picking it up just for your character. Or, as I said before, maybe being a ninja, that's different enough from samurai to scratch the itch of not playing a samurai. And every great clan, I guess technically in the lore, would have people to do ninja-y stuff, and so you could be a clan ninja for a particular clan. Quartz of Stone brings in like Lion and Crane clan ninjas. The Mercenary Ninja, of course, could also be reskinned as a clan ninja for one of the other clans, I guess, or Worldly Ronin, I guess. Now, monks, as I said before, they're weird, and they might be another way of scratching your itch of not being a samurai, but they also might not work for various reasons, and there's different ways of being a monk. Okay, so first of all, some monks are part of a certain clan. They are affiliated with that clan and kind of work for that clan. In the core book, we have the Dragon Clan's Tagashi Tattooed Order. They answer directly to the Dragon Clan champion. The Kaito Shrinekeeper from this book, the Magical Arrow Monks, they predominantly just stay inside Phoenix Clan lands and guard and protect the shrines, and so they kind of work for that clan. And we have other monk schools which are not affiliated with any particular clan. They can be found in Emerald Empire. There's two of them, the Shinseiist monk, and we have the Fortunist monk. And I think Path of Ways might also have a non-clan specific monk school option. They all kind of bring to life different variations of the whole wandering monk type of a character, still part of the Empire, just not associated with a clan. Now, either of these types of options might actually scratch your itch of not playing a samurai, because monks in general, their culture tends to be a bit more inclusive and open to the little people than general samurai. In general, a monk is more likely to see a peasant as just another person, more likely to ask questions. Why do we have this order, this separation of people, this caste system? Why is that? Isn't that kind of weird? And so that general culture, that general attitude difference might be enough to scratch your itch of not being a samurai, depending on what your definition is, even if they are a clan monk who are affiliated with a samurai clan. Or maybe the more independent version might scratch that particular itch better. But in both cases, even the independent version, monks are seen kind of, with the same respect as a samurai, more or less. They often act as warriors, bodyguards, advisors, and because of that, even if you entered monk school as a peasant, because most of the monk orders will allow peasants to join if they're willing and able. They're not all samurai, but even as a peasant, becoming a monk, going through that school, you now kind of have that upper status, and to you, that might not scratch your itch of not being a samurai. You want to be more in the middle or lower end of the social totem pole. You find that interesting. That's the experience you want. maybe even being a peasant to Shinseist monk, traveling monk, helping peasants, that still feels too much like a samurai in your head, or it has too much of what you want to avoid from what you traditionally associate with being a samurai. It just depends on what you're looking for. And another big way to not be a samurai is to, as I may have alluded to earlier, Path of Waves. That book has several foreign schools, character classes from the Ivory Kingdoms, which is outside the Empire. They're more Middle Eastern, India-inspired, I believe. If you want to play someone from a strange land coming here and doing stuff in Rokugan, you have that book for those character creation options. Also, you want to learn more about how Gaijin, as they're called, are treated in the Empire. They're technically not supposed to be here, technically illegal, but there are various avenues for why they would be in the Empire, and I guess you could always kind of hide your identity to some extent. I'm sure the book has a lot more information on that sort of thing, but in general, Crab Clan tend to be more open to having foreign mercenaries come in and fight for them. So if you have a campaign which centers mostly around the Shadowlands and Crablands, or maybe if it focuses on the Isles of Silk and Spice where Mantis Clan trade with foreigners, then you don't really have to worry so much about why this foreigner is allowed to exist in Rokugan and do missions for people, because they tend to be more lax in those areas. But beyond that, by all means, get that book and see what information they have on it. And that's all I have for you today.